Um, I looked back through um, just kind of what he was saying, and here I kind of retooled the design the study. Here, let me show you. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so based on his feedback, I think I edited the initial research question a little bit by adding this last part to it, giving a specific data collection date for both days to make it clear that we're getting the prices for each one of those dates on a specific date. And then I mentioned the date later, which we can change
Okay.
the date to. And then the issue you had was about how we're going to get the data. So this is what I was kind of thinking at this point based on his feedback as far as how we're going to get it. Just read through that. I mean, and on March 13th, we can. That's just a date I put in there, so we can really. That's whenever we get approved to do the project, we can collect that data.
Yeah.
Okay.
So read through that if you think we need to add or subtract or change anything. But that's I think pretty much how we're gonna do it. We just want to make sure it's clear enough for him.
You might just put in there leaving Salt Lake for the destination. I know you have that above, but just so it's clear,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
So right here, out of
Salt Lake City.
Is he gonna change the grade that he gave us once we
I hope so, because
edit
that
it?
thing screwed me. I like it was 10
Yeah.
points and it dropped me like 4 percentage points.
Yeah. I think he's
Yeah.
going to. I watched that video, like I said. The two things that he said that we did wrong, the two things that he said he's thinking about.
Yeah. So what do you think we need to add or subtract or change anything in how we're going to get the data?
Uh,
And and
no, I
really
think it sounds
we can
good.
change the sample size we took because we were thinking central limit theorem, but if we go back and look at the requirements for this test, we this is really what the requirements.
It just has to be QQ plot, right?
Yeah, a simple random sample, and if it's normally distributed, you can determine that through a QQ plot.
That's
And that's I pulled that one from here from right here.
so then it doesn't matter how many flights we have, right?
Yeah, so ultimately we can decide how many flights we want as long as it's normally distributed through a QQ plot.
20 to 30 is probably good, I'd say.
Yeah, do you want to stick with 30 or do you want to use a different number?
30 is fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay. So ultimately, simple random sample from the population, which is the entire population of Delta Airlines destinations, and then the QQ plot of the mean of the differences to determine if it's normally distributed.
And that's what he was worried about.
Yeah, because that's where on his feedback, he said 30 isn't the magic number.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that's not part of the requirements for this particular hypothesis test. So, what do you think? Any changes or adjustments or additions you want to make to that?
Sounds good to me. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to read over exactly what you said.
Oh, okay. Here,
But
I could pull it real fast here. In a second. Here. So right here, this was his feedback.
okay.
So I mean, the other stuff, he didn't mention anything else other than within what we submitted, other than how we're going to get the data and how we're going to determine if it's normally distributed. And I think the revisions we make address that, and just want to make sure we're clear enough.
Yeah.
I think
The fact that he said that to resubmit it, hopefully that means we'll change the grade.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Probably. But we'll see.
So are we good with this? Do you want me to go ahead and resubmit this?
that looks good with me.
Okay, so when we finish, I'll resubmit this. He didn't mention anything else. I mean, so everything else
Yeah.
seemed that he didn't have an issue with anything else. So I'll resubmit that then once we finish up here, and we'll
Awesome.
go from there.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course. All right. So you want to go into the quiz, or do you have any questions about that you want to go over?
Well, let's go for it.
I thought it was good.
This one seemed pretty straightforward in the sense that,
Yeah.
I mean, there's the requirements for this one, but a lot of this is just put it into Excel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you guys done the homework yet?
Yeah, I did the homework.
Is it easy? Or...
Yeah, it's pretty easy. I think it's just plugging the data into the Excel, and then I think at the end it asks you a couple questions about what hypothesis test to use in different scenarios.
Just like last time.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So let's see here. All right, so for the next 7 questions, use the information. Public opinion poll. Survey a simple random sample of 1,000 voters. Response were classified by gender and voting preference. Okay. Next set of questions. Do men's voting preferences differ significantly from women's voting preferences? Okay. So we're going to go with the null for this one is independent. So gender and voting preferences are independent.
Are independent.
Yeah.
So the bottom right.
And then the alternative, gender and voting preferences are not independent.
Yeah.
Are we good with that, Alexis?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Um,
All right, what's the
and then
equation for computing degrees of freedom?
the last one.
Yeah, the last
Yeah.
one.
All right. What's the correct choice for degrees of freedom for this problem?
It's 2, isn't it?
I didn't input the data yet, but probably
Yeah, it's 2.
2. Okay. Cool. I'm just doing it right now in the spreadsheet.
So it's not counting the total column and row, right?
Oh, it's not.
So it's just Democrat, Republican, Independent, then male, female.
Yes.
Okay.
And you minus the 1 times it.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, degrees of freedom is 2. All right. Are the requirements for conducting the chi-2 test for independence met by this data set? Chi-squared.
So it's a simple random sampling, and then
There's at least 5 in each
expected
cell.
count must be greater than or equal to 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So the top one.
Yeah. That's what I got.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's the value of the chi-squared test for this problem? Test statistic. Let's see. I've got 16.204.
Yeah, that's what I got.
How do you get that? Remind me.
This is just based off of the Excel doc. Put the
Oh, okay.
data there in the Excel doc and it gives you the test statistic.
Cool.
P-value at 0.000.
Yep.
All
So
right,
the
so
9 is the first one.
let's see. Number 9. Which of the following there's sufficient evidence that the gender voting preferences are not dependent. Yes, that is
Right.
the right one. Yeah. All right, number 10. Okay. I'm just putting the data in right now. Okay. All right. So the research question was: do people in Europe seek chiropractic care for the same reasons? Using a 0.05 significance. Okay. The conditions for conducting a chi-square test are this: independence are satisfied. Well, I'm assuming it was random. And it has more than 5 in each cell.
Yeah.
It doesn't really tell us, but so I guess if it doesn't tell us, don't we just assume that it was random? A simple random sample?
I guess if we get it wrong, then we'll false.
Yeah, maybe we know the right answer if we get that one wrong. All right, degrees of freedom should be 8.
Yeah.
All right, test statistic 7.436.
I got.
Sorry, 11 was 8. Is that what you said?
11's 8, yeah.
0.42. Okay.
And then the
And testing
p-value,
is 7.436.
yeah.
Okay.
And then p-value, I've got 0.490.
Yep.
0.490.
All right, so insufficient evidence.
Uh,
There's insufficient evidence.
that's the second one. The wording is just weird.
Yeah, there's insufficient evidence to suggest that the motivation to visit a country is not independent of the location. It's like double negatives.
Yeah, I remember how they explained why. It's still weird though. But
Yeah,
going off of the alternative hypothesis.
yeah.
So it's weird, but
All right. Cool.
yeah, that was nice and easy.
Yeah, that's kind of how the homework goes too. It's similar to that.
Good.
We got 100%.
Sweet. All right. Well, I will submit the new document. Do we want to look at it one more time? Or are we pretty comfortable with what we got here?
You can pull it up again.
All right, let me pull it up.
Basically, we just need to make sure there's enough detail about everything, right?
Yeah,
Because I think it says somewhere the point is like it needs to be detailed enough that somebody else could do it, right?
right.
Do it exactly the way that we do.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right. So let's see here. We can just kind of run through each one of the questions here. Research question: time to determine if the price to fly on Delta Airlines in the middle of spring is different than the price given a specific data collection date for both days. That seems pretty straightforward as far as our research question. What populations are we studying?
Maybe you gotta put at the end of that to a random destination. To 30 random destinations. No, on the number 2.
Okay. Given, okay. Price to fly.
from Salt Lake to 30 random destinations.
Yeah, let's see here. So if we're trying to determine the price to fly from Salt Lake Airport. There, is that kind of what we're looking for?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's good.
Okay. All right. So the population we're studying is Delta Airlines one-way flights out of Salt Lake City International Airport. Population. Here are the destinations. The destination flies to. Oops.
Studying are the destinations.
Population we're studying
Is
destination.
Destinations, Delta Airlines flies to from Salt Lake.
It flies to out of Salt Lake.
Flies.
Out, flies out of.
Destination Delta Airlines flies to out of Salt Lake. Yeah, I guess that works.
Okay. Experimental unit. He didn't comment on this, so I'm assuming we're okay.
Yeah, that was a weird one, but
Yeah.
must be.
All right. Response rate. He didn't comment on this one either. But that's what we're responding to is the change in price.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's quantitative. I think we're all clear on that one. And we're using 2 samples paired.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Null and alternative hypothesis. So here's our null and alternative. All right. So our group will use a simple random sample of all the destinations Delta Airlines services. Okay. Randomizer. We decide will collect prices for each date on March 13th. Do you want to use March 13th? That's Monday. Is March 13th.
He'll probably be back to us by then, right?
Yeah, he should because next week we have to start collecting data.
Yeah.
Okay. Monday's fine with me. That works.
Okay. .com. Select the least expensive main cabin ticket for each respective departure date out of Salt Lake City International Airport, regardless of the time the flight will leave. Additionally, the flight selected will be a one-way ticket for one adult passenger. Okay. I think. Do you want to retool anything with this? Or are we okay with explaining it?
I think it's good. Details are good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Requirements for your test for a chosen method. And discuss why your study is in alignment with your requirements. See, this is tough to know if it's good, though, because we haven't collected any data yet. I guess that's my only problem with this one. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to get a simple random sample, and then we'll get the QQ plot, but we can't determine if it's normally distributed until we actually collect data.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was just asking, how are we going to know that it is normally distributed?
Yeah, I guess the only part where I'm, because he says discuss, the requirement, discuss why your study is in alignment with the requirements. So, oops. If we put something like representation. Coupon. Dell. Show if the data normally distributed based on the shape. Graphical representation of data. QQ plot will usually show the data is normally distributed based on the shape returned. discuss why your study is in alignment with your requirements. I don't know if I like that. Why your study is in alignment with your requirements. Well, it's in alignment also because because the QQ plot is the mean of the differences, and we'll be able to determine a mean of the differences because we're comparing data, two different data sets for the individual destinations. I mean, that's how we're going to determine the distribution of the means. Kind of how do we want to lay that out, though, in this area? Let's see. Where says in alignment with the data is collected. We will be able to determine we'll be able to determine the mean differences. This will allow us to construct plot think of that.
I think that's good. I don't know what I could do.
Alexis, are you good with that?
Yeah, that is a weird question. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a question for after you started getting data.
That seems pretty thorough to me.
Okay. All right. So 11 no, 12 no. So we skip to 19. That's the project approval. All right. I'm good to roll with this. All right. Well, then I'll just go ahead and submit that then. I guess I just submit it the same way. If it lets me. Hold on. Let me see.
He probably would have had to open it back up. Hopefully he did.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I can upload another document. So.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. I need to collect the data. Okay, so I'm submitting it right now. Did so he sent the same feedback to you guys too, right? He didn't just send it to me?
I didn't look at the feedback. I just saw that we got a 60 on it.
Okay.
So probably.
Okay. Well, Tyson, you saw it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, cool. So then, all right, I'm submitting it right now, and we'll just, I guess, wait until we hear back from him. Hopefully he looks at these a little bit quicker than, so we know.
He probably will, because he probably doesn't have to review everybody's.
Yeah.
Again, so.
All right, cool. Well, cool. Anything else? Are we good?
I think we're good, aren't we?
All right, good deal. Well, then we'll just kind of, once he gets back to us, we can just probably just email and start figuring out or getting the data population together for the destination cities so we can get it through the randomizer. So as soon as he gets back to us on that, then we can get that taken care of. And then what we can do once we get the data or once we get the destinations randomized, I figure what we could probably just do is say, all right, well, here's the data. I'll take the first 10. Tyson, you take the second 10. Alexis, you take the third 10. We can get our data that way.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Awesome.
We'll wait for him to get back to us, and we'll go from there.
Alrighty.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys. We'll see you.